Because hookup culture benefits guys more than it will ever benefit girls. So some people are going to disagree with me, but let me explain. For starters, we've been knew that guys mainly just want sex. They rarely want commitment, but will do practically anything to get laid. Whereas girls, we're not super horn dogs. Some of us are, but not to that extreme. Y'all want to hook up like equally and with no commitment, whatever. Like you do, you live your life. I'm not judging. The problem is that guys tend to lead girls on because they want to keep getting what they want, which is a hookup. And then girls are painted out to be clingy or obsessive or psycho because they catch feelings, but realistically it should be understandable to catch feelings when you're doing something so intimate instead of just being painted out as crazy. Now, what do girls even gain from it? Honestly, 5 minutes of faking it and not finishing 99% of the time, I really don't think I'm missing out.
Dating in your 20s is all about excitement and discovery. However, once the big 3-0 arrives, everything alterations. Women, particularly those in their 30s and beyond, begin suddenly lusting after that rock on their finger, a desperate attempt to commit. Men, however, are realizing that making this commitment for the rest of your life might not be the best deal after all. While nurseries and white picket fences are on women's minds, many men are looking at their bank accounts and the freedom from substantial alimony and child support payments. Bring the single life with you. Many men today prefer the casual fling to the ball and chain in the dating scene, leaving some women are having trouble keeping up. A result of stories about divorce and its effects on men is a sense of disappointment. Some have witnessed it firsthand, resulting in a lack of optimism or complete ignorance of the dating process. To succeed in the dating world, one must strike a balance between selfishly pursuing one's future desires, swiping left at the first indication of trouble, and being adaptable enough to develop alongside a partner. But let's be honest, aging can make it harder to keep every promise you make, especially if those promises are important to you. Include a lifetime of children and debt. Divorced men, typically between the ages of 30 and 45, frequently exhibit resilience and coolness, but there is usually a deep sense of resentment and dissatisfaction. By the time they reach their 30s, people have created filters to separate the positive from the negative. It's no longer just about looks. They're on. Keep an eye out for indications of psycho vibes and crazy eyes. It takes time to build trust, especially when everyone is wary of becoming burned. Why are men more drawn to hookups than to relationships? In addition to being safer, it also has the perception that women over the age of 28 are less desirable due to what some people refer to as a decline. People between the ages of 18 and 28 are out exploring, giving nights out a higher priority in today's dating scene, with acquaintances and casual affairs. However, around age 25, some people begin to consider getting married. And what's that? They usually get married to someone a little older, usually between 28 and 32. However, when the 3-0 comes along, things get tricky, and divorces are more common. Even studies suggest that a woman's marriage is less likely to last if she has had more partners. So, perhaps it's time to reevaluate the exploration phase. Society loves to focus on women between the ages of 18 and 24 because they are in their prime, or more specifically, their lives' hot girl summer. They get lavish treatment during this golden age, with attention, free drinks, and possibly even the advantages of sugar daddy or sponsored journeys. A persistent sense of entitlement can sometimes result from this lavish treatment. That continues throughout their late 20s and beyond. However, between the ages of 25 and 30, things may take a turn. Hardcore feminism is embraced by some women, particularly when they believe they are not conforming to the strict beauty standards of society. The time has come to eliminate societal expectations and coloring their hair in the colors of empowerment, frequently in conjunction with a hatred of men, whom they might describe as trash. In the meantime, other individuals might find panicking. They settled for the beta male that they had previously overlooked in their prime. The standard story about alpha fucks, beta bucks. Some women set their sights on finding an alpha partner between the ages of 18 and 24. Yet, if you don't get one now, they might switch to the beta guys, who seem to have their lives under control. Together, these beta men frequently hold steady jobs and climb corporate ladders, whereas the stereotypes of Chads and Tyrones diverge. Interactions with beta. The rise in cuckoldry may be due to men sometimes feeling more like transactions, where women who are married to beta partners look for bulls on the side for more excitement. I believe that any man considering marriage should have a legally binding prenuptial agreement, regardless of his financial security. Men are subjected to social pressure to rush into marriage with women in their mid-20s and beyond, as though it were a race issue. In my opinion, a man should spend 8 years thoroughly screening a potential partner, prior to even thinking about the big M. Many men have decided not to get married because they see how dangerous it could be. Today's average American woman is 168 pounds and 5'4", which is larger than the national average. In 1960 of a man. Nowadays, men tend to value and appreciate physical appearance more, qualities that not all women fully embody, such as fitness, femininity, and cooperation.
I think biologically, when we get back to biology, I think that one of the reasons that hookup culture affects women so badly is because even just the nature of having sex with a man is very internal for women. Like, you're literally entering a woman's body. It's intimate by nature. It's vulnerable by nature. Guys have a very different experience. You are the one that's like entering that space. You're in more of a commanding position of authority by nature. So I think you're less likely to internalize a lot of that experience because you're literally internalizing less of that experience biologically by virtue of what you're experiencing through the act.
Traits like having a lot of size and being strong may not be something that many people want. Men. Divorce was once a depressing word, especially for single mothers. However, today's divorce is as common as a morning latte around the world, with an unexpected twist. Women frequently, despite initially being the biggest advocates for marriage, those who are making the decision to get married. Surprisingly, statistics show that women initiate 70% of divorces. People used to get married when they were in their late teens or early 20s back then. Nowadays, women wait until they are in their late 20s, while men wait until they are almost big 3-0. By this age, men have moved on from being party animals driven by hormones to putting their careers first. They've either seen or heard horrifying accounts of men getting devastated financially, losing custody battles, and going through a variety of divorce problems, so they're clearly hesitant to settle down after having a gun. Being aware of the relationships maze, men are less likely to jump into the deep end. The dating scene shifts for men as they enter their 30s. The number of fit, childless women decreases considerably. Let's face it, having children isn't exactly a selling point for a man who isn't their partner. Father by blood. Knowing this, most men don't actively seek relationships with single mothers. That it makes things more complicated. They comprehend that a woman's primary concern is her children and herself. Furthermore, the guy is regarded as fortunate if he even reaches 3rd place in her list of priorities. Some aspects of what men want in a woman have remained largely unchanged over time. 60 years ago, despite their physical evolution, men are still largely judged by their appearance and capacity to provide. On the other hand, women are still primarily dealing with judgments based on how they look.
I never went to a college party and I don't regret it. It was an isolating experience then, but I'm grateful for it now. With that said, I tried. I moved my shit in, tried sleeping in a dorm. I even ate ramen. No matter how hard I tried, the idea of waking up the next morning not knowing what I did or where I was the night before never really appealed to me. In my opinion, this is where hookup culture stems from. Not dating apps, college. Drinking, partying, and racking up bodies aren't questioned in the college world. And this is why body counts have become so inflated over the years. It is so casual casually talked about in college. I remember listening in on conversations, and when I would hear other people's numbers, I would think I was doing something wrong. My biggest issue with the ran through argument is that both men and women are so brainwashed at this age that they don't see it as a problem until it's too late. If we want to fix this instead of complaining about
And that
it,
wraps
we
up
have
today's
to start
episode
addressing
of
it at a
Manosphere
younger
Daily.
age. Because basing
If
your
you enjoyed the
self-worth off of
content,
how many
give it a like.
bodies you have
Be sure to
isn't at
subscribe
all
and hit the
normal.
notification
The question
bell
we should
so
all
you're
be
notified
trying to
as soon as a
address
new
is
video
how we
is out.
make anti-college
Share your
culture
thoughts in the comments
trendy.
below. See you all tomorrow. And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.